Welcome to the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Dad friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids through comedy can make our kids great again. And this is episode 31. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. There's also wet dream factories north of Burbank, located in the smellier, deeper bowels of the San Fernando Valley. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. If mommy had bigger tits. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. I'll take Taste of Amber over tatted up white girls on crystal meth any day of the week. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Nobody is making Whoopi with Whoopi Goldberg on it. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Make sure you marry someone you'd rather pleasure yourself to instead, who has skinnier friends to keep the pressure up on your behalf. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. It wasn't enough for Louis, obviously. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Kid Rock, top porn stars in it for past inspiration on Devil Without a Cause. I'm going platinum. You've got plenty of platinum blondes to do on Hollywood and Vine too. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Remember when you used to ask me what I do after I put you three to sleep? I wasn't only squeezing out more one-liners on Twitter. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. There's a rapper, Snoop Dogg, whose brain hovers a notch below hood hell. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Getting stuck between a hard place. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. It strips you of all imaginative thrust. When Dad said he needs privacy, there's no beating around the bush here. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. She gets paid to act like she loves it. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. There was once a golden age of muff diving called the 70s. Pre-AIDS, before magic made HIV disappear. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. You don't have to wear a condom for it. Unless you left your phone behind in an Uber and Andy Dick started to butt dial you on purpose with it. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Lube is a close second to silky smooth lining. Plus, you don't have to wear a condom for it either. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. It's like giving up pork. Every time I try to pull away from getting bacon on my egg and cheese, it keeps pulling me back in. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Less fabulous boogie nights. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. It never makes you feel good in the end. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Bury your head in books for deeper endorphin releases. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Stick with your imagination instead, or else you turn into a porn drone consumer like everyone else. Explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. Lube is a close second. I'm repeating myself already. And to wrap up my opening monologue on explaining internet porn to my kids eventually. So what's internet porn again, Dada? A safety rail to prevent affairs of the heart. Obviously, I was inspired by Andrew Dice Clay's poetic leanings as a kid. Some more jokes. Does it make me racist if I want to fuck Ted Danson in blackface over Whoopi Goldberg, who now looks like Ghostface Killah? This is me at the coffee shop. Old school Italian dude. After I went on one of my politically charged rants. This is what he says. You should get protection. And I say, you're the second person who told me that in less than a week. So much for keeping my mouth shut about Hillary Hammertime Cankles, Sheehy Michelle, Here Comes Weinstein, etc. This is me on HIV Prevention Day. Ladies and ladyboys, today, abstain from buying into Charlie Sheen's last pomegranate-infused, antioxidant-rich smoothie bareback diet. That's for you, Jim Norton. Can I get a holla? The sex traffickers are going down for good. This so-called treason summit is beautiful. Anthony Bourdain, Seth Rich, Joan Rivers, Andrew Breitbart will have not died in vain. I can feel it. The best is yet to come, because this Trump train is bound for glory. Unemployed comedian / father of 3 material. A mom at the library says, your boy pooed. Unemployed comedian / father of 3 responds, I better remember his birthday before you report me to child services. Unemployed comedian / father of 3 material, part 2. Still at the library. Different version of the joke. Here we go. This time we're going to be more specific. Library Asian mom. Which she was. She says, your boy pooed. Unemployed comedian / father of 3. That's me. Says, who cares? He didn't inherit your shitty personality. At this rate, you're giving Hello Kitty a good run for her money. Dick pic material. It's been a very productive week, I know. Dada, what's a dick pic? Window shopping on smartphones. Daddy, what's a dick pic? Anthony Weiner's way of laying it down on the line. Daddy, what's a dick pic? Headshots on Tinder. Daddy, what's a dick pic? Skipping small talk altogether. Daddy, what's a dick pic? A lazy man's dance floor grind from behind of old. Arguably my personal favorite of the bunch. This is me at my local farm in Harvest Moon, here in North Salem. I'm staring at this garlic bulb. It's a bulb of garlic, but it's smaller than your typical bulb. This is what I say. This garlic bulb is adorable. I want to jam it up Mario Cantone's ass so bad. If I'm lucky, he'll let me open it up for him next summer. Harvest Moon farmer laughs long time. And there's no exaggeration needed there. At this rate, Carmelo Anthony will be forced to play in the 3-on-3 league next year. Because I've said it once, folks, and I'll say it again. Carmelo Anthony, especially when he played for the Knicks, should have been the spokesperson for Tampax tampons, because no player throughout the history of the NBA has been responsible for stopping so much flowage. My timing on that joke could not have been better. I'm going to read you a poem right now. Pseudo-poem. Pseudo-poem by Charles Bukowski. Standards in the sense that it doesn't rhyme all the time. Not that his poems ever rhyme, but not all poems have to rhyme. Here we go. Getting Love from Cancer. Obviously a title that I could have used for another podcast episode, but I'm in a very giving mood, and I would like to over-deliver on the value of home front. Home front. Here we go. That's what I get for giving you too long of a lengthy preamble. Alexa, hush! You're messing up my flow. Here we go. Getting Love from Cancer. It'd be nice. Still, I can't shake the idea of my mom blaming my early stages form of skin cancer from being a direct result of my excessive amount of outdoor play on the stay-at-home dad front. I don't feel like such a sheltered bum anymore, Dad. I don't plan on telling my 3 kids because cancer, AIDS, and 9/11 are off the list words of the day for now. In an ideal universe, I like to extend my kids' enlightened age of existence as much as I can. Thanks to Hillary bot Humalickers calling anyone who voted for Trump a Nazi, I've had to explain Hitler to my kids already. Failed art student, and the SWAT sticker art isn't beautiful or deep. It just looks like a couple of gay stick figures doing a 69 on crystal meth. Also, the form of skin cancer I got, and this is not material, this poem is based on real life. And again, I'm not trying to get love from cancer by being upfront with you as far as clarifying that I actually do have skin cancer. I would never write a poem like this and not have skin cancer, but here we go. Also, the form of skin cancer I got is squamous cell carcinoma. It's highly treatable. Plus, it was detected early. So I don't have to sweat getting my finger amputated, although that would make a solid start to my romantic comedy story called The Nine-Fingered Foodie, who eventually finds a hand in marriage in the end. A concept I developed Robert Half, never did anything with it. Right now I'm thinking that this should be my next project. Moving forward. Of course, I told my wife about the skin cancer so I could give myself more generous pours from her fancy French rosés she's been buying lately, feeling guilt-free all the way. Getting close to that 17-minute TED Talk mark where you get the light at 16. Better start wrapping it up. Cancer scare. I don't care about getting love from cancer. When I get to blast hair metal, when my nurse wife works nights, while I get to party outside playing wiffle ball with my 3 tiny little headbanger dancers. Quick side note. I love my Spotify. However, iHeartRadio, by just saying Motley Crue, I couldn't listen to a better formed playlist without prior liking anything. So the pure natural intelligence of the hair metal powered algorithm for iHeartRadio kickstarted my heart, and I couldn't get enough of it. Huge fan. I'm beginning to think my future is to host this sort of show on iHeartRadio so more of you can enjoy. But let's see if they deserve me first. Here we go. Moving forward. Once again, getting love from cancer. In case of you guys that just tuned in or like to fast forward. Told my younger brother because my wife said I'd feel less alone. But I've God in my heart and faith in knowing it's not my time yet to part. Getting love from cancer sounds like too much pressure to place on friends because true ones don't need to make any forced last-minute amends. Getting love from cancer isn't for me. I'd rather smell the flowers more with more mystical zest, knowing God hooked me up with my wife and 3 kids because he knew it would bring out my writing best. I never sought love from getting canned. Resisting pity love makes you more of a man. Cancer is cancer, and it could easily come back. But if I could do it again, I wouldn't have told anyone offline to showcase my bigger sack. This is the Do It All Dad Year. I can't even talk. This is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids through comedy can make our kids great again. And I just want to pledge my love to the hair metal gods for providing a beautiful memory last night. I'm playing wiffle ball with my kids, and I'm determined to make them home run kings. A future episode for this podcast will be titled Dunking, Dunks, Homers, and TKOs. There we go. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is definitely like the holy trinity as far as self-esteem, making, actualization to the fullest. So mark my words, Matilda, Singing Rose, Arthur, Art Show USA, Samuel, Bam Bam Gigolo. I will fail as a father if you guys are not dunking and not hitting home runs and not delivering TKOs when they're deserved or in competition. I will fail as a father if I have not prepared you to completely excel in all three disciplines, because there really is the American dream. And I wish as a kid I would have fought back earlier. But I'm not going to complain because, God got me into comedy and writing, and that's a form of fighting back and getting your last shots. So thank you, God, for that opportunity to become the man I was destined to be. Thank you, Tony Robbins. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Bill Hicks. Thank you, Joan Rivers, for showing the world what it means to be fearless, remain true to yourself, and to brave the unknown when in the end, all you have is a semblance of talent and unyielding belief in yourself to prove that you're more than just a schmuck in a headset. This is Michael Kornbluth, host of the Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.